Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video is going to be an update, a long-awaited update on my Dermarolling experiment. Now you guys know that I'm into everything anti-aging and Dermarolling is big here on YouTube. I was kind of afraid of it at first and so I wasn't going to do it, but you know, I started reading up on it and reading studies on it, and there actually is some science behind it. You can get some collagen induction from using a dermaroller. I was so curious about it that I thought I would give it a try. And so over the last 11 months, I have been trying dermarolling, but you know, being a chicken as I am, I was too afraid to try it on my face, and so I tried it on the backs of my hands. I feel like my hands look way older than my face, but of course that's because, you know, I do laser treatments on my face, I get Botox from time to time. I don't have any in there right now, but my hands, they don't get those kind of luxuries in the doctor's office. And so I also didn't put sunscreen on them for most of my 50 years. Now I'm 55. I did finally start sunscreening them in the last couple of years, but still, 50 years of sun damage, that is a lot. So I was like, you know what? It's skin. If dermarolling is going to work on your face, it should also work on the skin of the backs of your hands. I know I've received a lot of comments from some people who are like, nope, won't work on your hands. The skin is too thin, it's too bony. And so of course that sent me on a deep dive looking for information on how thick the skin is on the backs of your hands and if it's comparable to the skin on your face. And guess what? It is. It is actually thicker than the skin on most of your face. The thinnest skin on your body is actually on your eyelids. The thickest skin on your body is the palms of your hands and the bottoms of your feet. But I did find one research paper, which I will link below, that shows the thickness of skin on different parts of the body, including the back of the hands. So like science is telling me that yes, dermarolling should work just as well on your hands as it potentially does on your face. I know a lot of you guys are just as curious as I was and you want to see like if this can work because it's inexpensive, you can do it at home, a lot of people really swear by it, and so I like to see for myself if things really will work or not. And this will be the 4th video that I've done on dermarolling. The other 3 I'll link right up here underneath the eye so you can take a look at those if you want to see the whole journey. I started last April with a 0.2 millimeter needle dermaroller. I used that every night, which is what the instructions said to do for the first week, but then my hand became too irritated, so I did it every other night for the rest of the month. Then I checked in, I did a video showing the before and after pictures, and I wasn't pleased with the results. I thought my hands looked, if anything, a little more irritated and worse than they had when I started. Then the second phase of the experiment was that I bumped up to the 0.5 millimeter needles, and I started doing that once a month, which is what the instructions were that came with mine said to do, because their explanation was that you needed the time for your skin to heal, for the collagen induction to happen. So I did 3 dermarolling sessions over the course of 3 months, and then I did another check-in video. At that video, I wasn't really seeing any difference in my hands again. So at that point, I said I was going to continue the experiment because I had read some research that indicated that it really did work, but you had to do it every other week for 3 months in order to see the collagen induction. So I used the 0.5 millimeter dermaroller every other week for another 3 months, which brought us up to the end of the year, December 2017, and my hands still didn't look so great. I continued the experiment, so I started doing the dermarolling every week using the 0.5 millimeter needles. I followed it up with my Retin-A, and I did that for another 2 months. So then I took a month where I didn't do it at all, and I just let my skin heal. All right, so now you're all up to date on the experiment and exactly what I did. So now let's take a look at the after pictures. So you know I always have to give you my photo disclaimer, which is that I take these before and after pictures in an at-home setting. This is not done in a lab or in a clinical setting. It's just me with my camera equipment, my lights, and my skin, and trying to make things as consistent as I possibly can, given that the photos are taken months and months apart. So I'm not trying to fool you. I'm not trying to make you think that there's anything happening here if there isn't, or vice versa. I'm a thin person. My hands reflect that. I'm very vascular. My veins on the backs of my hands are big and close to the surface. The tendons in my hands are close to the surface, so my hands are very ropey, very veiny looking. And of course, the Dermarolling cannot do anything to help that. So the first picture is a little bit of a farther away shot of both my hands side by side. I think from this distance, it doesn't look like there's a huge difference in the quality of my skin, but I feel like even from this distance, I can see that there is a little bit of improvement. It's when I zoom in to really look at the close-up of the skin on the back of my hands that I feel like I can really see the difference in the actual crepiness of the skin. I think it's starting to look a little bit better. Is it like a miracle where my hands look 10 years younger or 20 years younger? No, I'm not seeing that much. Do they still have wrinkles? Is the skin still crepey? Yes, the skin is still crepey. It hasn't relieved me of my crepey skin, but I think I do see a little bit of an improvement. I do use my Retin-A on my hands, so the results could be a combination of Retin-A and the Dermaroller, but you know, I can't separate the two. I've been using the Retin-A on my hands for longer than the Dermarolling, so it could be just a coincidence that the Retin-A is starting to work and the Dermaroller has nothing to do with it, but you know, I think it's probably a little bit of both. So I feel like my hands are looking a little bit better. That said, though, I had mentioned in my year-end roundup of the best of anti-aging that I was thinking of getting my hands some filler, because one of the things that they're doing for hands now is they have a filler that has been FDA approved for use in the hands for, you know, filling for anti-aging. And where, you know, I think the skin is starting to look a little better, where my hands still don't look so great is really, you know, the veins and the tendons. So I have an appointment for this week to go and get some filler in my hands, and I will be doing a video on it, so don't worry, you'll be seeing that coming up. So I certainly have had enough time to form my opinion on Dermarollers. I've used it long enough, and my thinking on Dermarollers is that while it certainly is inexpensive, it certainly is easy enough to use, I probably am not going to continue using this guy. I don't enjoy it. Every time I have to go to use it, I'm like, oh no, it's Dermarolling night. Now my hand is going to be red and irritated and feel like it's on fire for the next 2 days. It does take a long time to see results, and the results for me were fairly minimal. It definitely isn't going to give like lasering a run for its money, but then again, it is in a completely different price point, a different league. This is something that you can do at home. So from that standpoint, do I think it's worth it for you to try? I mean, if you were dying to try it, then, you know, go ahead and give it a try, but just be aware that you're not going to see instantaneous results, and the results aren't going to be like, whoa, it blew me away. At least that was not my experience with it. Yours may be completely different. I just don't think it's for me, but if it's for you and you love it, that's great. I think it is an anti-aging tool that we have in our toolbox that can work over time, depending on the length of the needles that you use. You know, maybe even longer needles work even better. I'm not willing to go there personally, but it's definitely like a, if you have more time than money kind of proposition, then it may be the perfect anti-aging thing for you. So, you know, that's why there's so many different tools, different things fit into people's budgets or their allotted amount of time or whatever, or their comfort zone. So that was it for today's video, everybody. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you watching today. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.